Hey, what's up, people? Pin here. So this is my LG C2 picture settings. Recommended setup. Just some things to look out for. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to go to my all settings here. So for me, I have this always ready on. It's a cool feature because it allows you to showcase artwork or have like a section to where if you want to turn the TV off, then it can showcase some things, or it can just be completely black. I have always ready without the wallpaper, so ideally when I do press the power button, it can be in like this state to where it's all black. And on an OLED, since all of the pixels are self-lit, when the screen is totally black, that means that it's not recognizing any type of picture, and it can decrease the chances of burn-in, if that makes sense. Cool feature. Have AI service off. All of these, I don't need them. OLED care. Have the care settings off. OLED panel care, pixel cleaning. This is a brand new television for me, so I probably won't be running this for quite a while, but who knows. Have screen move on. I don't even notice it. I've been playing games, watching content. I don't notice the screen move. It's just something that they included to, have it not be on the screen for too long. It occurs at regular intervals, but I don't even notice it, to be honest. Adjust logo brightness. I have that on low. So it adjusts the brightness of a static image such as logos and subtitles so that it can prevent the screen from occurring. And it's all part of the OLED panel care, when it comes to the general maintenance when it comes to the set. So I do have that stuff on. One thing with support, my software is up to date. And also another thing. Oh no, it's in OLED care. Device self-care and energy saving. Make sure you have that off. Okay. And from there, I'm just going to go to my picture. This is for SDR. So with SDR, I'm watching things like YouTube, or I'm watching my live TV, sports pay-per-views, things like that. I do watch SDR, but it's limited content, or like a regular TV show or anime for that even. So I still have a use case for SDR, of course, even on this high-end television. So I'm using standard. Aspect ratio is original. OLED pixel brightness 100, contrast at 85, black level 48, high peak brightness. Gamma is already locked to BT 1886. Video range auto, motion eye care off. Color, I do have it at 57. I have the color gamut at dynamic. So it's on auto detect. I like it at dynamic. You can see the subtle differences. You probably can't tell it on this Samsung camera that I'm filming on. It's a Samsung A52 cell phone, but I definitely notice a difference. And fine tune and white balance, all that is grayed out. And I am on the native YouTube app. So what I'll do after this, I'll go into my NVIDIA Shield and I'll show those settings where it's not grayed out. Clarity. Sharpness at default 25. I do have super high resolution high, noise high, impact high, smooth gradation low, real cinema on. True motion is grayed off. And that's that. All right, so I switched over to my Shield. I'm just going to bring the settings up. So these are not grayed out. Aspect ratio, user selection, original, just scan on. Still got BT1886 for my gamma. So same settings as before, but this is with my shield. Have color 57, dynamic, fine tune. I have this on medium. So basically I'm not after reference accuracy, I'm after what looks good to my eyeballs. White balance, I have it on warm 40. I do like that. It does add some more warmth to the picture without having it be or looking or appearing to be too cool. So warm 40 is what I prefer at the moment. You know, that can change, but hey. Clarity, same settings. True motion. Got that de-judder at 3 and that de-blur at 10. I just don't like choppy motion. The de-judder at 3 introduces a little bit of soap opera effect to where when you see those panning shots, it makes it so much easier on the eyes to read and see because it's not so choppy and so annoying to look at, you know, with that judder, that movement. So I have mine on 3. Some people prefer it off. I completely understand that, but look, I'm a gamer and introducing some true motion definitely helps when watching regular content, okay? And I just apply to all inputs and call it a day. So now I'm going to be going over my HDR, and then I'll do the HDR content, and then I'll do the HDR for games, and then I'll do the Dolby Vision, and we'll get to it. Okay, I brought up an HDR demo on YouTube. I currently have it paused just so I don't get no unwanted copyright or anything like that. So we are in HDR. As you can see, I'm using Cinema Home. Aspect ratio is original. For my brightness, I have my pixel maxed out at 100, contrast 100, black level 48. Dynamic contrast high. I do use dynamic tone mapping. Peak brightness high. Pretty much this is to my liking. This is the Evo panel, so this is a bright panel for OLED. Basically, what people are more used to, especially versus like maybe 4 to 6 years ago. So my settings that I'm showing you in this video is for a bright room and a dark room, if that makes sense. It's universal. I like it. The picture looks phenomenal. My camera just doesn't do this picture justice at all, or video. My color, I like my color in HDR, Dolby Vision. I like my color to be 65. You know, that's my sweet spot. I just like my color to pop. Color gamut, dynamic. I have my fine tune color adjustment at medium. Once I started playing with this television more and started tweaking some things, it brought the color out more. It popped more to me. You know, it stood out, and that's what I like. My white balance I have at a warm 40. Clarity. So this is HDR. I left the sharpness at default, which is 10. Turned off all this stuff because when I'm watching HDR content, most likely the bit rate is high enough to where it doesn't have all this noise and I let smooth gradation at default at low. Real cinema is on by default. True motion, same before. I got it at 310. I just don't like judder. I introduced it just enough to where it's clear and I can see them panning shots to where it's not annoying me. And I just apply to all inputs. And that is my HDR. You know, so now I'm gonna showcase the HDR for my PS5, you know, for gaming. And pretty much it's the same as my PC as well, but that's going to be in a separate video. because that's a little bit different. Okay, so this is for HDR game mode for the PlayStation 5 on the LG C2. So the C2 has a cutoff of 800 nits when it comes to peak brightness, and that's why I'm going to be doing like a separate video when it comes to the Windows environment, because there are specific things that you have to set up with the 4K 120 VR HDR to where it's going to all make sense and tie all together. Now for the PlayStation side, I'm going to show the calibration and I'm going to get into the settings in one bit. All right, from your PS5 settings, you want to go to screen and video. You're going to go all the way down on video output until you see adjust HDR. So for the C2, because it has that 800 nits cutoff point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my first screen, which is 1 to 3, all the way until I can't press it no more as far as darker, okay? So it's pretty much at the default state once you return it. And I'm just going to do 14 times here and on the next screen as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So pretty much until it's pretty much gone but barely visible. Now this is for the C2. If you're on a different OLED, please do your research accordingly. I'm going to press next. I'm going to do the same thing for screen number 2. I'm going to bring that in. You can see it on camera here. And then I'm going to do 14 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. And this is meeting the 800 nits, cutoff point. Now, number 3, because the OLED is infinite contrast, it has perfect black levels. What you do is that you bring this till you can't press it no more, and then you make it go completely black. Make that disappear like that until you're no longer able to go like darker, if that makes sense. And I'll leave links in the video as well to like further assist. And that's pretty much it. Now this is for HGIG. I have been messing with that and I do like it. I also like dynamic tone mapping as well, but that was for HGIG HDR for the PS5 on an LG C2. All right, so now that we went over the HDR setup, let's show some settings. This is the game bar for the LG C2. I'm gonna go to the settings here. We're in game optimizer. This is game mode for the OLED. So I have game optimizer selected, aspect ratio original, just scan on auto, advanced settings, pixel brightness 100, contrast 100, black level 50. I mess around with that a little bit, put it at 48. Just personal preference. Dynamic tone mapping. I'm on HGIG. I have been doing some research on both. That's the tone mapping that I'm using. That was for the calibration or the setup that I just did on the PS5. Peak brightness high. All this is like grayed out. Gamma 2.2 for HDR. Video range auto. Motion eye care off. Color, I like it my 65. Color gamut, dynamic, fine tune, medium. White balance, I like a warm 40. Clarity, default, sharpness 10, super resolution off, and all of this is grayed out in game mode. Makes it super responsive and all that. and I do apply to all inputs. I back out, bring up my game bar, go to the game optimizer. Since I'm not playing the game, is VRR is off, and it's locked at 60 for the home screen. So pretty much what I did was prevent input delay, input lag. I put that at boost. I added VRR and G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium. Now, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X does not utilize NVIDIA G-Sync. However, I noticed that they are like AMD FreeSync consoles, that form of VR, if that makes sense. Now, if I just left AMD checked and I turned off the G-Sync option, the VRR wouldn't turn on. I have both of these checked for a reason. Now, on the PC side of things, I only need to have the G-Sync option checked because I have a NVIDIA GPU. So just keep that in mind. But with both of these checked, my VRR works amazing. I made like a YouTube short where I was getting like up to like 90 FPS on God of War Ragnarok. It's pretty awesome. I can change my menu color and all that here. So you're going to see this again once I do my PC video. So, don't worry about this. I'll just leave everything else default. And that is my PlayStation 5 HDR setup and settings on the LG C2 OLED. Now let's move on to Dolby Vision. All right, everybody, we're going to get into some Dolby Vision. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I use Envy as far as my content in my home theater for watching my movies, TV shows, anime, pretty much anything that I want to watch. So I am currently watching the Godzilla King of Monsters. After I upload this video, I will be finishing this title. So also to break in the TV, I'm watching some anime and things like that. So just consuming the content here. So we're going to get into this and be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I just have it paused there. You see the clear logo in the upper left hand corner of the screen. Not playing anything, just using it for setup purposes. So we are in Dolby Vision. I'm going to pull that up here. And after I show these settings, I'm going to show off the audio as well. So it's going to come towards the end. My apologies for that. So I'm in Dolby Vision. I'm in Cinema Home. Aspect ratio, original, just scan is on. Advanced settings. Pretty much it mimics my HDR settings in a sense, because I got the pixel brightness 100, adjust contrast 100, black level 48, dynamic contrast high, peak brightness high, gamma 2.2, video range auto, motion eye care stuff is off. Color 65. Color gamut is native because it is locked at Dolby Vision, so I can't change that. Fine tune, medium color adjustment. My white balance is a 140. I don't change anything else. Everything under 2 points and all that, that's more for a calibrator, and I'm just not going to touch that. I just find settings that I like, I fine tune it, and this is a beautiful picture. Clarity, default. And if you find that I'm going too fast, you can always slow the video down. But it's literally mimics my HDR settings. Now, I may make like a dedicated video on this. My true motion is the same, 310. Y'all know I don't like judder. Dolby Vision Precision Detail. Dolby Vision technology, which analyzes content information to improve clarity and contrast, expresses natural landscapes such as clouds, rocks, sand, water, and snow in detail. I like this feature. This is nice, like this is exclusive to Dolby Vision. So with the LG C2, I think it's on the I think it's on the G2, if I'm not mistaken as well. Not sure about the C1. But after that, I'll apply to all inputs. And I'm going to get into the sound for here. So I'm going to go to sound out is HDMI ARC. You guys see I have the Vizio setup. Okay, my apologies. Bring that back up. And the sound. So my sound out is HDMI eARC. I have the Vizio 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos setup. Comes with the sound bar, subwoofer, 2 rear speakers. I did a previous video of it on the channel if you're interested. Advanced settings. So I have the digital sound output not set to pass through but to PCM, and here's why. The PlayStation 5 uses by default or natively, it uses linear PCM for games. Talking about games specifically, it uses a linear PCM. So to avoid any potential audio delay or any type of weird audio glitches, whatever, I have it set to PCM, but I still get up to my 7.1 Atmos. I still get everything that pass-through offers when it comes to my ears specifically, because I literally don't hear a difference. Reason being is because when I'm playing things on pass-through or PCM, both my sound checks are green. You know, it's not doing anything different in my specific setup with my specific hardware. You can do your own research on that, but I'll show the proof in a little bit. And I have eARC support turned on. That's major. You know, make sure that's on. All right, be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So remember how I said on pass-through or PCM, when it comes to movies, I still getting my native audio codec. Let me zoom in here. So you see where it says audio codec, there's the bitrate, True HD Direct. So rather I'm playing PCM or pass-through, you know, with my setting on my LG C2, I'm still getting a direct audio codec. The only reason why I have it set to PCM is specifically for the PlayStation 5, because that's what it uses natively for games. So, and everything else checks out, you know, the bit rate, you know, this is the UHD disc, just the audio and video that I need, and you can see the results here. So I'm going to finish this movie after this video, and that's pretty much sums up my settings for the LG C2. The PC video is going to be a dedicated video, and I'm going to be explaining that workflow in that environment. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know down in the comment section. And until next time, peace out, and thank you for watching.